gone. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's jerky night. This is our 22nd episode, and as you know, each time we do one of these, we've been going through a recipe book and selecting a marinade each week. The recipe for tonight is Hawaiian Jerky. The ingredients in this include 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 garlic clove crushed, 1/4 cup of pineapple juice, and 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Now, if I were going through this recipe book and picking recipes, I would never pick this one for myself. I don't like cooked fruit in my food. I don't eat pineapple on pizza. And so I'm real skeptical about this. I'll be straight up front with you. That being said, I love raw pineapples, and I also love pineapple juice. So I don't hate the flavor, I just hate it combined with meat or heated stuff. So I guess we're gonna have an adventure here and try it out. Now, the ingredients I just read off are, as always, per pound. I have got a pretty good sized eye round roast here. The last one the store had. It's a little over 2.5 pounds. Of course, with the loss, it'll be around 2 pounds. So all measurements will be made for 2 pounds. All right, well, I guess the first thing we need to do is cut this thing up, get it cleaned up, and then we can make the marinade and get it in the fridge. All right, let's go ahead and do that now. All right, it's all cut up. Let's go ahead and get the gristle cleaned out, and we'll be ready to mix up the marinade. We're going to use a different, larger bowl here to do our mixing with because it's a lot of meat, and I think the liquid portion of this marinade is going to be pretty heavy. So we will use a separate bowl to mix it, and still probably have this Nutopia for the marinating. This cut looks really good, by the way. Alright, so the meat's all prepped, and it's time to make the marinade. Sadly, we again do not have the Corningware bowl, so we are going with the blue bowl. And I'm just going to wash my hands really quick from the meat prep and get a few measuring utensils, and we'll get started. Alright, so as normal, not like we did last time, but as normal, we're going to start with the dry goods first. Let's start with 1 teaspoon of salt, so that'll be 2 teaspoons of salt. 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, so 2. Next, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Alright, so next we have the liquids, and then finally it'll be followed by the garlic clove. And so what we have next is 1/2 of a cup of pineapple juice. And 1/2 a cup of soy sauce. And finally 2 crushed cloves of garlic. Let me mix this first before I put the garlic in. Alright, crushed the garlic. And let's put it in with the meat. enough space. Alright, and there we have it. The batch of Hawaiian jerky is prepared. We're going to let it sit overnight. Tomorrow night we'll get it on the dehydrator, and then we'll get to try it and see what we really think. Alright, well, we'll see you tomorrow. Alright, Saturday morning. The meat sat on in the marinator all night. It's looks like a solid chunk of meat there, but it's not. So let's go ahead and do our thing. Let's get it on the dehydrator and get it running. Alright, that's it. It's all loaded up. It took a bit. Had to really kind of go back and make some room because there was so much meat that all the trays are absolutely full. So, we're ready to go. We're going to crank this up, and I guess we'll see you in about 3 hours to check it for the first time. See you then. Alright, it's been about 3 hours. We're going to take a look at the meat here and probably swap the trays around. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, as usual, we've probably got another hour left. The bottom ones were much closer to being done than the top, as always. We switched the trays around. We're going to let this go for another hour. We'll come back and take another look, and maybe we'll be able to try it then. I don't know, but we'll certainly find out then. See you back here in an hour. Alright, we're going to go ahead and give some of this a try. It's been on for quite a while. I think part of the reason it's taken so long in this particular batch is because the trays were so overfilled because of the sheer quantity of the meat. But we have a piece that's ready. Here we go with the Hawaiian jerky. It's actually quite good. The pineapple is very mild, which I thought was going to be a problem, but it's pretty mild. I kind of like the flavors. I think I'm going to score it actually fairly high, considering, of course, the meat's perfectly textured, being the proper cut of meat. So that automatically gives it a 5 right there. I think I'm going to score it a 7. It's a little light on flavor overall, but I like the flavors. They're good, and it's nicely salty, and I think it's deserving of a 7. That's what we're going to score it. Certainly worthy of munching on over the next week. All right, we'll see you later. Come back next time.